Welcome to Spyder Auto's Step Bar Installation Guide for the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Before we get started, you'll need a 10, 17, and 19 mm socket and ratchet, and a flathead screwdriver. Take a look at your finished step bar. We've laid out the contents of your step bar kit here. Let's start alongside our Grand Cherokee. We've laid out the brackets just below where they'll mount. Starting just behind the front tire, we'll remove the rubber plug from the body with the flathead. Now locate one of the long bolt plates. Add a plastic washer and then install the bolt plate into the opening. The front L bracket will mount onto the bolt plate stud. Secure it with a 19 mm nut, lock ring, and washer. Leave it finger tight to allow for adjustments later. The front bracket will mount here using the two factory holes indicated. Next, locate two 10 mm bolts and add a washer to each bolt. Insert the bolts through the holes to mount the bracket to the body. Add a washer onto the bolt stud. Then secure the bolt with a 10 mm lock nut. Leave this finger tight for now. Moving to the other side of our bracket, locate a 17 mm bolt and add a washer. Insert the 17 mm bolt and washer through the front bracket as shown. Add a washer onto the back side. Add a lock ring over the washer and install a 17 mm nut over the lock ring. Moving slightly inboard, locate the small bolt plate and add the plastic washer. Insert the bolt plate into the opening as shown. Now locate your front support bracket. The support bracket mounts as shown. Install a 17 mm nut with lock ring and washer onto the bolt plate stud. Next, install a 17 mm bolt and washer through the brackets. Then add a 17 mm bolt with lock ring and washer onto the bolt stud to secure the bracket. Moving down, locate and remove the rear rubber plug. Insert the long bolt plate into the plug hole. Now mount the rear L bracket onto the bolt plate stud. Install a 19 mm nut with lock ring and washer to secure the bracket. Leave it finger tight. Locate the medium bolt plate, add a plastic washer, and then insert it into the opening as shown. Locate the rear bracket. The rear bracket will mount as shown using the two factory holes in the rear. Once again, locate two 10 mm bolts and add a washer to each. Pass the bolts through the holes to mount the bracket. Add a washer and 10 mm lock nut on the reverse side. The L bracket should fit around the rear bracket with the long side of the L bracket facing inwards. Now locate the rear support bracket. Install a 17 mm bolt and washer through the brackets. Add a washer, lock ring, and 17 mm nut onto the bolt stud to secure the bracket. Next, install another 17 mm bolt and washer through the brackets. Once again, add a washer over the bolt stud. Add a lock ring over the washer. Install a 17 mm nut over the lock ring. Now it's time to mount the step bar. Verify that the bars are correct and that the holes align. Then locate four 17 mm bolts. Add a lock ring and washer to each. Install the bolts through the brackets and into the step bar to secure it. With all bolts installed, now you may adjust your step bars as needed before we tighten everything down. After making your adjustments, tighten all bolts fully to ensure your step bars are secure and supported properly. Lastly, just check to ensure that your step bars are secure, and you're done. Congratulations, you've fitted your Jeep Grand Cherokee with a set of step bars from Spyder Auto.